Hello from Sahara. When I meditate, I always ask to be shown what would be the best to see and know, and what would be good to tell other people. And I had a wonderful meditation last night, and most certainly I have to trust a lot because I never know what I'm going to be shown. I saw um, all the things I knew from my outer body and my NDE experience, that when we come into this world, this when we come into this world, um, brand new, more or less, we come down a tunnel into our mother's womb, and we start becoming aware. That awareness can happen anytime. It can actually happen after birth. Um, and sometimes the newborn baby will come in and out of awareness. It's kind of handled by the oversoul of the individual to be born. Everything is planned in advance. When you are born, you pick out your parents. You you pick out your circumstances. If you read any of Michael Newton's books on the journey of the souls, or Dolores Cannon, or Edgar Cayce, they all talk about the same thing, that you pick out your circumstances when you come in for learning lessons. That is largely accepted now by most people. And if you are a baby coming in, a new little soul coming in, you're really actually an old soul. New does not apply. You think of it as a innocent, unknowing entity. Not particularly. The entities that come in can be older than you are in soul years. So when the apparently newborn is coming in, they make plans about what they want to do in that life, based on about a zillion things. Unfortunately, we try to figure this out with logic. Logic is the worst thing to use in matters like this. It's best to meditate and ask God. And what does God have to do with it? Everything. Not man's God, but your own internal knowing. So sometimes a soul coming in will just want to touch base with the physical. They might come in for like a month or two, then there is a miscarriage. The individual was able to touch in, more or less say hello and goodbye. I had a miscarriage once, and it was such a sad thing, and I felt very rejected, like a new entity was going to come in but didn't want to stay, and I felt rejected, and it felt terrible. So the big political question is about abortion. Now, what that has to do with politics starts to become a very fuzzy area. When you start mixing personal lives in with religion and politics, you usually get it pretty messed up. So I was told in my meditation that new souls, well, a soul, they're not new always. They often come in just to touch base. they're trying to make a choice of whether that's a life they want to live or not. It may or may not have anything to do with the parents or the choices. There is often not a choice, as in my case, it was not a choice. And I felt very guilty because I had taken a cold medication before I knew I was pregnant. Right? You know, you take, as human beings, we take everything very personally. You know, when we look for the center of the universe, we always expect to find ourselves right smack dab in the middle of it. Whether a new soul comes in, it, it has to do with so many things, and it may or may not have anything to do with the choices of the parents. And I was shown in my meditation souls coming in and making a choice. And it has nothing to do with the person carrying the baby. The choice is not always there. Even if they go and have an abortion, that soul has decided on touching base and leaving. It's kind of like when you go swimming, maybe the water's cold, you stick a toe in till you get used to it. Maybe it doesn't feel too good, so you withdraw your foot. You're like, oh, that's cold. So it's kind of the same thing. So I was told that whether or not there is an abortion or miscarriage, it has little to do with the individual making the choice to have an abortion, as much of a choice as someone does when they have a miscarriage. It's out of their hands. People come in with all kinds of things they want to do, and it doesn't always, it's not, we're so egocentric that we think everything revolves around us. So sometimes there may be a miscarriage or an abortion, and it was pre-planned. It was planned like that a long time ago. So I drew the tarot cards after the meditation. It was a beautiful meditation. I'm always surprised by it. This is the happy home. This is how how the question progresses. A happy home, and I love this card. This is one of the best cards that you can draw. It's Ten of Cups. It's a happy home, shared love, blessings, family, all kinds of stuff. Little children playing, a happy home in the background. The next card shows an upset where the person is crying. The thing is that they don't realize it's the Five of Cups. Cups are always emotional, and so it's when the cups are, the five of the cups are tipped over and the person is crying. What they don't realize is there's two cups right behind them. So cry no more. It's like, don't cry, move on. The same thing. The next is an unhappy home of it's like the Ten of Cups only reversed. And this is many losses, loss of inheritance. So the individual deciding to have an abortion may undergo ridicule or personal guilt. So this is that kind of card. You're feeling guilt, disappointment, loss of inheritance, loss of everything. Oh, woe is me. And it's kind of everything has gone against you. You're very unhappy. So you go from happy, I'm sad, I'm even more sad, and I'm feeling guilty. The final card was the Lovers. The Lovers can be sexual love, but it's also innocence. You see, these people are straight from the Garden of Eden, and they're innocent of everything. They can go romp around in the garden without guilt. In the Garden of Eden, the people in the garden were without guilt, and they were innocent. And this is the angel or God looking down on them and blessing them. Go be happy. Enjoy the fruits of your life. So, in the end, it's a happy ending. And I think the thing that's most important is if you are in a situation where you think you have a choice in whether a child is born or not, maybe you don't. If you look at the way people come in and the way you came in as a fully evolved being, making your own plans about what you wanted. You have to take a responsibility for your life and do what you can to make the best of it. So if you read the books, and I'll leave some links below to some YouTubes that are like audiobooks that explain the journey of souls, what we come in for, what we reap, the choices we can make. And one choice is when there is a new life about to come in, sometimes they change their mind. Sometimes they plan to just come in, visit, and leave for whatever reason. Individuals feeling like they must get an abortion, that was planned long before even you were born or even the individual was born. There is no time on the other side. So you've agreed to be part of this. So please read the books, become aware that abortions, miscarriages, and births often are not up to us. They're kind of joint agreements. And there's so many factors that trying to reason it with it in your mind logically does not work. Or as a guru of mine always says, step outside of your story, which in my world means it's not always about you. There's bigger things involved. So I hope this helps in questions of pro-choice and abortion rights. A very hot issue. This should not be on the political scene. I believe people really, nobody's for abortion. Nobody's for that. But also, it's kind of a mistake to put rules on it from, government. Every time we get government involved with personal issues, it's always a mess. So this is my meditation. I was shown very clearly what people, new entities coming into this world, how they make their choices, how it's all planned. So, and it's not always up to the individual. If you have decided to get an abortion, it was already pre-planned. If you're feeling guilt over it, well, maybe you had to go through that kind of guilty feeling. But once you let go of government, religion, right and wrong, know that you're a blessed child, blessed child born to rob free in God's love, and God does not hold anybody guilty. That's silly. There's no use for guilt. There is use for loving and living and being kind to one another. So that was my meditation. And it was just my meditation. I had gone into meditation to ask about other things, but I opened myself up and said, tell me what would be important to know. And that's what I got. And I leave that with you. Please subscribe and stay tuned. My meditations are wonderful. And I hope that they're guided. I know they're guided. Namaste.